Hey there, this is Teacher Ola Podcast episode 118, Learn English with Alicia Keys, If I Ain't Got You. My name's Ola and I'm an online English teacher. I teach through one-to-one classes and I want you to know I believe you can eliminate your language blockade. It is 100% guaranteed. I'm not saying it'll be given to you on a silver platter, yet I know you can get there. I've overcome a massive blockade myself and I know how to do it. The secret word here is consistency. That is why I record this podcast episode, and each comes with a little worksheet, a one-pager to help you digest and test what you've practiced here. You can speak English with more confidence, slay that fear, and enjoy new freedoms. Each episode helps you practice speaking. The practical part is always there at the end of each episode. You'll boost your vocabulary, brush up your grammar, and improve your pronunciation. Go to my website for full transcripts and worksheets to each episode. They're free. Happy learning! Hello, welcome to another episode. It's such a timeless and great song. Who doesn't love Alicia? She's such a beautiful soul. I don't know her, obviously, but this is what she gives off in it. It's gonna be awesome today. Please stay till the very end and then you'll practice speaking. There's the whole idea. That's it. That's the whole method, Listen to some theory, practice repeating sentences out loud, and finally, download the worksheet. Practice translating those same sentences you've repeated into English. How cool is that? Every worksheet is available on my website, but if you subscribe, I will just send it right to your inbox every Wednesday, right after I release a new episode. One last thing. Are you interested in an English-speaking online course based on a Netflix series? Visit my website for details. And now, let's begin. Song facts first. Song lyrics will follow. In 2001, a 22-year-old R&B singer Alicia died in a plane crash, and that tragedy inspired Alicia to write this piece. Alicia said, "The song idea came together after Alicia passed away. It was such a sad time and no one wanted to believe it. It just made everything crystal clear to me, what matters and what doesn't." She wrote the song on a plane right after she'd heard the news of Alia's passing. She said also, "I think being on a plane and knowing she passed away after a plane crash, there was just this sentiment of being present in the moment and really nothing else mattering but those that you love. I think that feeling was really present in my life and that time and really right in my face. I wrote it really quickly, but in order to produce it the way that you hear it, it took forever," she said. "Nothing would come out right. Every version that I did, every arrangement that I did was just wrong. It was such a labor of love." Alicia won Best Female R&B Vocal Performance for this song at the 2005 Grammy Awards. Time to listen to the lyrics and please repeat each line out loud. Are you ready? Here we go. Some people live for the fortune. Some people live just for the fame. Some people live for the power. Some people live just to play the game. Some people live for the fortune. Fortune is a large amount of money. He made a fortune on pharmaceuticals. Family fortune, a small fortune, fame and fortune. She spends a fortune on her hobby. The second meaning of this word is chance or luck. When you have good fortune, you're lucky. Some of us believe that certain objects bring good luck. Often in our lives, things happen by a stroke of fortune. We all want fortune to smile on us. The third meaning of fortune is the future. A fortune teller is a person who tells you what the future holds. What's your fortune? They can read your fortune, looking at the lines on your hand. Some Chinese restaurants serve fortune cookies. They contain a short message with some predictions about your future. Some people live just for the fame. Fame is the state of being known and talked about by many people. You can achieve fame if you want it. Have you heard of claim to fame? It's this one thing that makes a person or a place important or interesting. For instance, this city's only claim to fame is the old brewery. You can seek fame and eventually find fame. If you're at the height of your fame, you're in the best place, but be careful not to fall down. Some people only get their 15 minutes of fame. It's a short period of being famous. Some artists become famous suddenly, almost overnight. We might want to say that they shot to fame or shot to stardom. Some people live for the power. Power is the ability to control people or things. Power to do something or power over something. For instance, he has the power to change his future. He is convinced he has no power over his life. If you're able to do what you like with someone, you have that person in your power. Like she had him in her power. To take power, to lose power, to come to power, to return to power, to be in power. I'm not a person in power to help you with these documents. That's all from this verse. Please stay with me and let's continue with the next one. Some people think that the physical things define what's within. And I've been there before. That life's a bore. So full of the superficial. Define what's within. To define, to give definition, to explain the meaning of something. Some people think that the physical things, physical objects, possessions, houses and cars can define what's within. Can explain the meaning of what's within. Within means inside. What you have in you. What you have within cannot be explained through things you have. Possessions do not define you. Another meaning of within is before a particular period of time has passed. During a particular period of time. For instance, you should receive a confirmation within an hour. Also, not further than a particular distance from something. For instance, I think it's within walking distance. It's not further than within walking distance. A bore. That life's a bore. A bore is a situation or thing that is boring or that annoys you. It can also refer to a person who is very boring, usually because they talk too much. It's such a bore having to go to family parties. He's such a bore. The superficial. That kind of life, a life defined by physical things, is superficial, shallow, not serious or important, and not having any depth of understanding or feeling. Shallow life. We have an episode about Shallow by Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. It's episode 7. Still, it's the most popular episode among those based on songs. Check it out, episode 7. It also explains how to learn English with song lyrics. Yes, let's go on with the lyrics from Alicia Keys. Some people want it all, but I don't want nothing at all. If it ain't you, baby. If I ain't got you, baby. Some people want diamond rings. Some just want everything. But everything means nothing if I ain't got you. Nothing at all. I don't want nothing at all. It is a double negation that is in fact incorrect, but for the sake of emphasis, we can do such things. It's not a crime. Grammar police, stay away. I really don't want nothing from you. If I wanted to correct Alicia, we could say, I don't want anything, or I want nothing at all. Here, let me draw your attention to a common phrase, not at all, especially to its pronunciation. The meaning first though. Not at all is used as a polite reply after someone has thanked you. Thank you for helping me. Not at all. You can use it instead of you're welcome. There are 3 words, but in fact they sound like one word. In American English, the t sound, both of them, are softened into d sound. Not at all, not at all. There's no sharp t, like in British English, not at all. In British English, that t sound is clearly pronounced, not at all. But in American, not at all, not at all, not at all. If it ain't you, if it isn't you. On this podcast, we've talked a lot about ain't, but let me remind you, ain't is a negation. What is ain't used for? It's not standard English, but used a lot because it's a perfectly valid word. The word ain't is a contraction for am not, is not, are not, has not, and have not. In some dialects, ain't is also used as a contraction of do not, does not, and did not. If I ain't got you, another example of what we've just had, if I ain't got you, if I don't have you. Everything means nothing if I don't have you. Everything. The pronunciation of this word is everything, everything. But in this song, Alicia sings it differently. Everything. So she makes 4 syllables because that's what is needed. That's what she needs for the purpose of the rhythm. Don't mispronounce this word. Don't freak out when people don't pronounce it this way. It's just Alicia, okay? Everything. You pronounce it. Everything. Everything. Some people search for a fountain. Promises forever young. Some people need 3 dozen roses. And that's the only way to prove you love them. A fountain. A fountain is a structure from which water is sent up into the air by a pump, used to decorate parks and gardens. But it's also a rich source or supply of something. A fountain of wealth, a fountain of youth. This business must be a fountain of wealth for the whole family. 3 dozen roses. A dozen is 12. 3 dozen roses is 12 times 3, which equals 36. Dozen, as you may have noticed, has an irregular plural form. 1 dozen, 3 dozen. Don't add s. To prove you love them. To prove. Some people need gifts, they need to be assured of your love, buy flowers for instance. Some people need 3 dozen of them. To prove, to show it's true. I want to prove my point. I don't have to prove anything. What are you trying to prove? You're determined to prove me wrong. You don't have to prove your worth. Eventually, we've come to the last verse. Please repeat out loud. Hear yourself. Hand me the world on a silver platter. And what good would it be? With no one to share. With no one who truly cares for me. To hand. This time, hand doesn't serve as a noun. It's a verb. To hand something to someone. To pass, to give something to somebody. Hand me the documents. Additionally, we have to mention an idiom. To hand something to somebody on a plate or to hand something to someone on a silver plate. The person who receives something on a plate or on a silver plate or on a silver platter doesn't have to put in any effort. They get it easily, effortlessly. It's handed to them. Even if you hand me the whole world on a silver platter, I will not enjoy it if I am alone and have no one to share it with. What good would it be? Here, good isn't an adjective, but rather a noun. Good means something helpful. What's the good of all the money you have if you have no time to enjoy it? Prepare yourself for your own good. With no one who truly cares for me, without anyone who cares for me, who loves me or likes me. Here we are, we've just arrived at the practical part. It's when you speak English out loud. Listen, keep the sentence in your short-term memory and let it out. Speak up, say it out loud. He made a fortune on pharmaceuticals. He made a fortune on pharmaceuticals. She spent a fortune on her hobby. She spent a fortune on her hobby. Often in our lives, things happen by a stroke of fortune. Often in our lives, things happen by a stroke of fortune. A fortune teller is a person who tells you what the future holds. A fortune teller is a person who tells you what the future holds. The city's only claim to fame is the old brewery. The city's only claim to fame is the old brewery. You can seek fame and eventually find fame. You can seek fame and eventually find fame. He has the power to change his future. He has the power to change his future. He is convinced he has no power over his life. He is convinced he has no power over his life. She had him in her power. She had him in her power. I'm not a person in power to help you with these documents. I'm not a person in power to help you with these documents. This is difficult to define. This is difficult to define. Despite her grief, she found a hidden strength within herself. Despite her grief, she found a hidden strength within herself. You should receive a confirmation within an hour. You should receive a confirmation within an hour. I think it's within walking distance. I think it's within walking distance. It's such a bore having to go to family parties. It's such a bore having to go to family parties. He's such a bore. He's such a bore. Not at all. Not at all. This business must be a fountain of wealth for the whole family. This business must be a fountain of wealth for the whole family. Please buy 2 dozen eggs on your way home. Please buy 2 dozen eggs on your way home. What's the good of all the money you have if you have no time to enjoy it? What's the good of all the money you have if you have no time to enjoy it? Prepare yourself for your own good. Prepare yourself for your own good. She did no work at all, expecting to have everything handed to her on a silver platter. She did no work at all, expecting to have everything handed to her on a silver platter. Well done! It's just great you're still here, but you're not done yet. Go to your inbox and grab the worksheet. If you're not a member of Top People, download it from teacherola.com/118. Being a member of Top People is free and beneficial because every week I send an email with exclusive content along with a fresh worksheet. This is all I have prepared for you. I hope you liked the episode. If you did, as always, please leave your rating in iTunes if you can. Share, comment, like, do whatever you can to help this podcast stay afloat. If you want to hear more from me, please show some support. Tell someone about this podcast and help me spread the message. All I want to do here is really just reach as many people with speaking English issues as possible and make them believe speaking fluently is for everyone. Be here next Wednesday, same time, same place. We'll talk about vocabulary. We'll look at the vocabulary connected with TV series and film. Thanks for listening, take care, happy learning, stay fearless and say it out loud. Bye bye!